So as you can see, my eyebrows suck. They are so terrible. I can't do nothing really with them. They're very, very thin. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and make these babies pop. We're gonna give them some life. So the first thing I'm going to do is brush my eyebrows into the desired shape. The second thing I'm going to do is add concealer underneath my brow and add concealer above my brow. This is going to serve as a guideline for me to draw my brows in perfectly and evenly. So next I'm going to take my brow pencil. It's an LA Colors brow pencil. It's in the shade dark brown. And I'm going to draw a line underneath the concealer mark that I made on the top. And I'm going to draw one above the concealer mark that I had made on the bottom. After I do that, I'm going to do light strokes to fill it in. And bing! Look at the brows, y'all. I didn't have no brows at first, and it's literally like I made some instant brows, so I'm popping right now. So pretty much the same thing I did on that side, I'm going to do to the other. I'm going to put my brow pencil mark underneath my concealer and above my concealer and fill them bad boys in. Yes, y'all. Them brows are popping. I love it. I love it. Guys, it took me too long to try to figure out how to do these brows. My brows have never, ever, ever grown like that. So it's like, once I figured out to get these brows going, it's been a wrap ever since. So now I'm going to take my spoolie and go ahead and evenly distribute that brow pencil through my brows. So there I was just doing a little test. That's just going to help me make sure that my brows aren't coming over too far towards the middle. So now I'm going to be using my Nicka HD concealer in the shade Fawn. I put a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and I'm using my concealer brush to dip it in the concealer on the back of my hand and apply it to the first set of concealer marks I made. Now, as you can see, I definitely make sure that I take my time with bringing down my concealer. You want to bring it down some first. Once you apply your concealer, you bring it down some. And then when you get to the top and you apply your concealer, you're going to want to kind of do like little small little motions at the top where it like brings it up and out. Because what that's going to do is make it very easy for you to blend it in. And you won't be affecting the brow any. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Nicka HD concealer. It's in the shade Cappuccino. You're going to want to get a concealer that's close to your skin complexion or close to your foundation shade. And that's going to help you cover up the lighter concealer marks that you made above your brow and underneath your brow. So I know you ladies were probably thinking like, what is she doing? This is too much concealer. It's too bright. It's not blending in. But trust me, there's always a method to the madness. I've been doing my brows like this for a long time now, and it hasn't failed me yet. So this is definitely beginner friendly. It's a couple of steps, but just follow it step by step and you're gonna get perfect brows, I promise you. So right now I'm using my Ruby Kisses by Kiss Clear Brow Mascara. I'm just going right over the brow. And right there, that's going to make the brows look a little bit more natural and not like it's so much drawn in. So now what I'm doing, I'm blending in all of the concealer that I made underneath my eye and above my eye. I'm using taps. I don't really want to do like the light strokes, windshield wiper motions because I don't want to affect that brow that I just drew on. I want it to stay where it's at. So by me tapping it, it still blends in the concealer with no issue. It blends in actually pretty good too. But at the top, I'm just going to do a swipe, and that's going to blend in the top. And of course, when I add my foundation later on, I will double clean it up and make sure everything blends in perfectly. So to finish these brows, I'm going to go back in with my Clear Brow Mascara from Ruby Kisses by Kiss, and I'm going to make a natural start to it. So I'm going to take the spoolie end of the mascara, and I'm just going to brush light strokes across just so that it starts off light and then builds up to the dark. I'm blending in one more going to set the concealer that I placed over my eye, which is going to serve as a primer for when I do my eyeshadow. I'm using my Ruby Kisses by Kiss mineral powder, and it's in the shade Cockpit. Okay beauties, we are on to the second part of this tutorial, and it's how to apply your eyeshadow. So pretty much what I'm showing you right now are the different places on your eye where your eyeshadow will go. I'll be using my Magic Collection dry makeup sponge. I'll be using this to clean off my eyeshadow brushes as I go throughout the tutorial, only so that each color shows up perfectly and has its correct pigment. So I'll be using my Nicka K's Perfect 12 Colors, the Blush and Blossom shades, and as you can see, I just pointed to that creamy beige shade. That's going to be my first transitional color. You're going to want to make sure that you always do your transitional shades first and then build up the rest of the eye. So I'm going back into my Nicka K's 12 Perfect Colors, the Blush and Blossom shades, and I'm going to be using that light brown shade down at the bottom. That's going to be my second transitional shade. And as you can see, I'm putting it into my crease. I'm using windshield my wiper motions going from left to right to blend it in perfectly. And I'm using a Wet n Wild crease eyeshadow brush. I'm going into my LA Colors matte palette. These are the Brown Tweed shades. I'm going to be using that sandy brown shade as my third transitional color. This will be the final transitional color before I finish building my eye. Now I'm going to transfer over into the brow bone color, and I'll be using my peach palette from Be Yourself Cosmetics, and I'll be using the Dazzling shade. It's like a shimmery sandy brown shade, similar to the shade I just used from LA Colors, but this one has a little shimmer to it. To apply my brow bone shade, I'll be using my brush from Ruby Kisses by Kiss, and it's a small eyeshadow brush. Let's get into some shading and shadowing. So I'll be using my Nicka K's Perfect 23 matte shades, and as you can see, I pointed to that top dark brown shade. I'm going to use that to apply it into my crease, out over to the outer side of my eyelid, and then bring it around down to the bottom. So once again, we're going to bring it into the crease, outside around the outer eye, and then down towards the bottom. Moving right along to the eyelid, I'm going to be using my Nicka K's HD concealer. I'll apply that with my flat concealer brush, and I'm just going to follow the shape of my eyelid and place some of that concealer onto my eye. I'm not going to go all the way over. I'm going to stop where I got that shadowing at. I'll be going back into my Be Yourself Cosmetics palette, the peach palette, and I'll be using that shade Dashing. It's a copper bronze shade with like a lot of shimmer to it, a super dope shade. That's going to be my eyelid color, and I'm just going to apply it right on top of that concealer. And I'll be using my large eyeshadow brush, and it's from Ruby Kisses by Kiss. I'm taking my blending brush from LA Colors, and I'm going to blend in that eyeshadow lid color and the shading color that I used, just to have everything blend in perfectly. So that is the finished eyeshadow look. We're going to move right into these lashes, baby. Let's get these lashes going. The first thing you're going to want to do is measure your lash to your eyelid. You're going to want to make sure that your lash is not coming out too far on the outside of your eye or going in too close to the middle. So you're just going to measure it to make sure it's perfect, and if you need to trim any off, you can do that now before you apply the glue. You're going to want to apply a thin strip of lash glue right onto the band of the lash. When I say small, make sure it's really thin and small. You don't want to apply too much glue. This is going on your eyelash. You don't want it to get in your eye, and you don't want it to be too caked up on your eye. Then you're going to take some mascara and go over your eyelashes. This will help the lashes to actually have something to hold on to. Before you apply your lash, do give it maybe like 15 to 30 seconds to dry a little bit. You want it to be wet, but you don't want it to be completely wet to the point it's dripping the glue off of the lash. But once that's finished drying to like a medium point, to the point you can still feel it a little tacky, you're going to apply it to your eyelash. You're going to apply it right on top of your lash. You're not applying it to your eyelid, you're applying it to the lash, your actual eyelashes, right on top. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of that dashing color that I put on my eyelid from my Peach palette by Be Yourself Cosmetics. I'm going to apply that on my eyelid one more time just to make it pop. And of course, this is the finished look. You got your brows, you got your eyeshadow, and you got your lashes. I hope you enjoyed this compilation video. Please definitely take your time while watching it so that you can get every step by step, because I'm telling you, this video will not fail you when doing your brows, your lashes, and your eyeshadow. And until next time, guys, bye.